a lot of people who are in fat acceptance or what they call fat liberation, I don't really know what they're liberated from. Hi everybody, my name is Casey and I'm so excited that you are watching my first ever YouTube video. Yay! I am so excited. I think that I have been wanting to start a YouTube channel for a long time, and after I made my TikTok about leaving fat acceptance, leaving anti-diet culture to pursue intentional weight loss, and that video was talked about on Angelica Unfiltered and Obese to Beast channels, it just kind of inspired me. There was 2 or 3 people that kind of said that they would like to watch YouTube videos from me, and some of my friends were like, yeah, I like watching your videos, and I am a slut for long form content, so yeah, it's just been something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I thought that, especially with me going on this weight loss journey and it being a really big sort of moment for me, I thought that, yeah, maybe it's a good idea. I have a couple videos in the works. One is about just like my history in general that I alluded to in the videos that were covered. I have a chronic illness, I have other metabolic disorders, and I have kind of a somewhat unique story, but at the end of the day, I am also just a girl. Not a girl. I'm almost 30 years old. I turn 30 next year, and I have a daughter, and I am just really looking to basically lose 100 pounds. I am 10 pounds down, which is really exciting, and I'm just like 2 pounds away from my pre-pregnancy weight. I had my daughter 2 years ago, so we gotta get moving on this. But I'm just really excited for kind of like this new, I don't know, I feel like I have a new lease on life, and a video again where I talk about my experience in fat acceptance and fat liberation is most likely going to be titled that, like, fat activism almost ruined my life. It stole my life away from me for many years, and I am just really happy to take responsibility for my life. They don't like the word control, right? Because it's, they talk about like, oh, you're just obsessed with control and like you don't really have control. And I think that stems from kind of, politics. You have sort of this on the right, it's very much a bootstraps personal responsibility mentality, whereas on the left you have more of a collective community social determinants of health, that you have less control that you might think. And I am a left-leaning person. I have a degree in sociology. You kind of my hair is blue. I think you can tell my septum ring. You can tell my politics just from looking at me, I feel like. But when it comes to my body and my personal health, I have found so much freedom and liberation in radical personal responsibility. So I'm just really excited about that. I'm excited to talk about all my experiences on this YouTube channel. I'm also going to talk about just things that I like. So I'm a huge nerd. I love like gaming, fantasy books, Dungeons and Dragons, anime, and I hope to talk about those things on this channel too, because this is my channel. I can do what I want. And I refuse to niche down into being like slotted as like the person that only talks about this thing. So that's just how it's going to be. And people will watch what they want to watch, and that's totally cool. But it's just been a whirlwind seeing some of the comments on these videos. So much like positivity, so many well wishes, some things that were very negative. I think you're going to get that whenever somebody talks about like weight loss and stuff, people are always going to have negative comments. There were some things on the videos where I think that people either they didn't understand what I said or they misinterpreted what I said, and so then they make some assumptions about me, or just making bold claims about a medication that I must be on because I am now deciding to lose weight, which I also think is crazy. I understand it, I get it, but there was just some negativity on those videos. So, it's whatever. I will maybe create like a frequently asked questions video, but to anybody who was watching that video and who was like, oh yeah, it's so much easier to leave fat acceptance now that there's a GLP-1 and everybody's on GLP-1s. I'm not on a GLP-1. I did talk about this on TikTok, which I currently have TikTok deleted because I'm addicted to short form content. And so I'm trying to like rewire my brain and allow my brain to be bored and stop doom scrolling. But I'm not on a GLP-1. I am like the perfect candidate. I have PCOS. My BMI is very high because of my height and my weight. I could go to the doctor right now and get on one. I don't want to for various reasons. I am concerned about side effects. I'm concerned about muscle loss versus fat loss. I'm concerned about the fact that you kind of have to be on it for the rest of your life. I hate being nauseous. Nausea was like a big part of my pregnancy. And I have this really weird response to nausea, which is that I eat more. I don't know what it is, but when I feel really sick and nauseous, my brain thinks that if I just eat enough, the nausea will go away. So I don't know. I'm just worried about all of that. I don't really want to be on it. I do struggle a lot with food noise, but I kind of know the foods to eat to avoid food noise. So, and to kind of like get that out of my life. So I've been kind of just doing that. And yeah, I will totally keep you updated though. I think that any channel that focuses on weight loss and kind of like follows somebody through their health journey should disclose if they're on a weight loss medication. So I'm disclosing that no, I'm not on a weight loss medication. If that changes, I will let you know. But yeah, things have just been really awesome since leaving. I've followed more YouTube accounts. I feel like I am being deprogrammed. Like I feel like I was in a cult and I'm finally out of the cult and I'm just starting to see how ridiculous things were. And again, I'm just taking my life back and that's awesome. I was worried that some of my friends who are still, at least from my understanding, still really into fat acceptance would like message me or say something or unfriend me. They have not. I have unfriended a couple people who their entire lives and like livelihoods are fat acceptance. Some like creators and stuff that I've been mutuals with for a long time. Because we're not personally friends, we have never met up in person. We have never had a single conversation that didn't have to do with fatness. And we haven't interacted in over a year. I, went ahead and made the decision to unfriend them, and that's my decision. But luckily, I have not received any backlash. I've only received tons of love because obviously, and I think that my family is probably really happy that I'm like coming back to reality and really trying to take care of myself. Like I said, I have a daughter. She'll be 2 soon. And I just want to be able to live my life for her and with her. I want to be healthy as I can. I want to live a good life. And I want to live a life that isn't like centered around body size, right? Because it's just so funny that a lot of people who are in fat acceptance or what they call fat liberation, I don't really know what they're liberated from, because at the end of the day, they are still talking constantly about bodies. Their whole world is about fatness and the oppression that they experience, and even in their day-to-day lives. And I don't want to do that anymore. But I'll talk more about that in a video where I'll do the whole timeline, right, of me and fat acceptance and all of that, and why I decided to get out. I'll reiterate some stuff from TikTok, but it's just been great that I feel like I have a life again. And I felt like this for a while because obviously I didn't just make a video deciding like, okay, I'm done, bye guys. Usually when you make those videos, you've been contemplating things for a long time and you've made the decision already and maybe have made it for a long time. But just to finally be done and to be able to be honest with everybody about me changing my body is awesome. So I think I've rambled long enough and I need to go back and edit this video. Hopefully this serves as an introduction and you will see more videos from me if you're into that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have an incredible day, and I will see you next time. Bye.